finally, Dr. Nicholas Felix, he's here, and good to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Well. Even though there's still questions as to what's been going on with all former presidential aspirants within your party, we haven't heard much of them lately. Are they, what, gone back to business as usual, or what?
All is well. I guess you'll be hearing from them very soon. There's so much in play and so much are going on. So there's no cause for alarm in our party at all.
But at the moment, I mean, it does appear as though, clearly your party, issues here and there concerning what kind of steps should be taken. Is the PCC properly composed? How do you proceed from here? What days is scheduled for what event to kick off? That doesn't sound like if the party has it all together from the get-go, does it?
Oh, that's absolutely. There's no issue. You know, we're talking about a nation of over 200 million people. And now this is the ruling party. Of course, there are so much we need to put in place. And if you understand our flag bearer, with what I've come to know, he's a man that listens and he's a man that wants to carry everybody along. So there's no cause for alarm. If there was issue, I'm sure by now you'll hear of it. But there's no trouble in our party at all.
So at the moment now, you know, you have lots of people who are just looking to see what is it that the party is going to tell Nigerians this time when they get down there and then ask for their vote again?
You see, you should expect something new because a new administration is coming. Even though we talk about the party, understand that over 40 million Nigerians are part of this party. But what is different is a new administration. You're seeing new faces. For example, I'm a new face in the party, and you're seeing a lot of new faces, new ideas. So they should expect something new.
Yeah, but do those new faces have any leverage whatsoever? Because you don't expect the people who have been there to drop it on the laps of the new faces.
Our flag bearer hasn't been there. The last time he had an office, you know, as governor, it's been a while.
But he's always, we know the role he played in the emergence of this particular government, the role he's played and been playing and still playing in Lagos for those who are there. So he's been around in governance.
Yeah, he played a role in, you know, in the emergence, but he wasn't a cabinet minister, he wasn't a governor or anything. So you must understand, if you're not holding any governmental position, sometimes it may be difficult for you to have an input. You can advise, you can suggest, but it doesn't mean your suggestion will be taken. But I can guarantee you, Nigerians should expect something new from this administration. With what I see playing, definitely things are going to be changing.
What do you see playing?
I mean, our flag bearer is carrying everybody along. He listens. And to me, that is very key for me as a youth.
Have you had any meeting with him?
Oh, yeah.
After your
I had 4 meetings.
The contest?
I had 4 meetings with him. The first, we spoke for over 45 minutes. I listened. It took me a while, so there were things I was looking out for, and I got even beyond. That's why I'm sitting here and speaking. So, and that's why I'm expecting something new from him.
I'm kind of shocked,
yes,
to be very honest, that Mr. Felix is sitting here representing the APC, because I know just how unhappy you were after the presidential primaries, and the fact that the presidential candidate who emerged had gone round many of the other contenders and did not reach out to you at that point in time.
Yes.
So what precisely changed for you?
Yes, last month we met, and he did apologize for that it was an oversight.
That was since the convention?
The convention.
The very first meeting you had with him was last month?
It was last month because I was out of the country. I left 7 days after the primaries. Of course, we needed to go and take a break and calm our head down. And I came back last month and we met. And that was the first issue that was addressed. You know, it was an oversight, it wasn't deliberate, and he did apologize. And
did you believe that?
If I'm a Christian, I'm a believer. When somebody tells you, I'm sorry that this happened, doesn't matter how you feel, you're supposed to let go. And he doesn't have to. At his age and at his level, if he apologized and said this was an oversight, that speaks of his humility. And to me, that got to me.
It wasn't because you were the only one who stepped down for the current vice president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo.
That's what I thought at first. And I was kind of shocked to hear that a seasoned politician will act that way. But he did confirm that, no, that's not the reason. It was just an oversight. And we had to let her go and move on.
Okay, now you must be privy to some of the controversies that have now emerged with the release of the party's presidential campaign council.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of disquiet over that. We understand that a letter was written. That letter has since been denied. But the furore, the aftermath of the release of the presidential campaign council list is still generating controversy. So a lot of people would say that there is some truth to that letter which was purportedly written, because there is now talk of the supremacy of the party over any presidential campaign council. You are a member of that presidential campaign council, and I imagine that you're raring to go, as maybe members of the other members are. But how exactly are you people handling this? Because some people will say this spells great danger. If there is infighting between the leadership of the party and those who are supposed to be members of the presidential campaign council.
I really don't see this as an issue. I was at the party office yesterday for over 5 hours. There's nothing to worry about. I think what is going on, the party want to have a say. They needed some more input. And the fact that the flag bearer is listening, to me, I think that's something good. And there's no issue. There's just some little adjustment here and there. And in no distant time, the complete list will be out. So it's really not an issue.
There's no issue.
There's no issue.
Yet,
it's just some adjustment.
The inauguration date has been shifted quite a bit. It's even uncertain as to when this inauguration is going to happen. It's
going to happen soon. And, we have over 4 months. This is the first time we're having this kind of this amount of time. So we're taking our time. But trust me, when we hit the floor rolling, you will understand what is coming. So it's totally different from what you have seen before. There is absolutely no issue. Some people want to have a say in it. And the father is listening. I would have been glad if I wanted a say, if I was not in that list and I come in and I want to be in the list and they're listening to me. Don't you think that's something I would like? So they're listening to people. That's something good.
I find it a little curious, though. Did you want to be on the presidential campaign council?
Okay, in the first place, the reason I purchased the form, even while it was so high, was because I needed a youth representation. When I looked at 2019, we were about 73 candidates. Over 40 of us were youth. And in 2023, I discovered many of us went out. I've called some of them. I'm even going to have a meeting with them. I was thinking that youth momentum will continue. So coming to 2023, at the last minute, I wanted to pull out. But I said, if I pull out, where is the youth now in this game? So not having a youth in the presidential council would have been very worrisome.
You're not the only youth.
Yeah, there are youths there, but we're coming from the outside. It's totally different. We're bringing something new on board. So if we were not involved, I'm sure we would have spoken up and raised an alarm that we need more youth. I'm still not even satisfied. We need more people there. We need more youth there. We have to prepare for the next election. That's what I'm looking beyond 2023. So we need more youth to come in. I just called a meeting of all former young presidential aspirants. I spoke with some of them. I said, we need to get on board. You guys are silent. We cannot be silent.
It doesn't matter which political party?
It doesn't matter. I spoke with Kingsley Moghalu. I spoke with several of them. I told them we need to sit down and meet. You guys have gone into hiding and nobody wants to speak up. Nobody wants to come on board. We cannot, what we started in 2019 cannot just stop now. We need to get on board. And it's my desire to put them on board. I don't care what party you belong to. You must come. We must speak up.
How are they responding?
They're responding very well. We must speak up. You see, when you watch a relay, and they're handing over the baton, they don't hand over the baton to the guys on the stage sharing off. They hand over the baton to the guy who is also running. So that's what we must do as youth. Stay in the game, keep pushing at every level.
Speaking about youths,
yes.
What do you think about those youths, young people who feel they've had up to here, and then they've come out to the street saying, look, we don't care about the APC, we don't care about the PDP, we need to try something new. And then they're sticking the next somewhere else, with the Labour Party, for instance, and several other parties. What do you think about that?
I must tell you, I commend every youth out there who is marching, I don't care what political party you belong to, whether you are Labour, APC, and PDP, I encourage them to keep doing what they're doing. What I'm looking forward to, that the next election, we will not just march. We will become the one to be voted for. It's starting very good. So I commend every youth out there. The only thing I don't want to see this keep going back like what happened in 2019. I was really hoping that there will be many presidential candidates who are youth, but we are very few. I'm sure because of the small, a lot of the parties were deregistered. So every youth out there who is marching, doesn't matter what party you belong to, keep doing it.
You will not be youths forever. I mean, the next 4 years, you would have added 4 years to your age, and maybe you'll be out of the youth bracket.
Maybe a political youth.
Which means we are starting very late.
Maybe.
We should have started in our 20s.
Perhaps.
So going back now, we cannot
relate. This. I think what I'm trying to say is this, that, you know, the issues go beyond just young people. Yes, it is good that young people are interested in the political process, but the issues are a little more complex than just saying, you know, we just want youth to be involved. It doesn't matter what party platform, etc. You know, what exactly are young people bringing on board? That's the issue. What exactly would you say are important to young people? You are now a partisan member. You're supporting your party. What exactly do you think? I mean, what have you heard young people talking about that you think your party can address? Because part of the growls which young people have is they think that, you know, the old political class are so out of touch with what it is that they need right now in their own generation.
That's because as youth, we have always stayed on social media. That's why I left my comfort zone in the first place. I don't have to be here. I'm doing very well where I am, but it has always been on social media. We're complaining. For example, joining the APC, some of the things I've seen now, I don't think some people who have been in politics for a long time have seen it. Dealing with these guys, talking with them, having meeting with them, in a million years, I could not have imagined some of the things going on. So if you are not there, you can have a say. When I met with our flag bearer, there were some suggestions I brought. And immediately, he brought them into action. It's okay, let's get this done, let's get this done. And soon, you'll be hearing some of the things. And there were suggestions that were brought. And I said to myself, if we're not on the table, if we don't come to these guys and, you know, and interact, our voice will not be heard. We'll keep complaining on social media, and they will never take us serious. That's why we must stay there. It's not time to run away.
Majority of the people who stepped down that night, the convention night, stepped down for the current flag bearer. You stepped down for Vice President Yemi Osinbajo.
Yes.
How is that being received, one, within the party? And are you a little concerned that he's not a part of the Presidential Campaign Council?
I mean, when the list came out, a spokesperson came and explained why his name was not there. So I'm not going too much into detail. I mean, I want to believe if the president asks that he runs the country and he should not be part of the campaign, I don't think that's what he said. I want to believe that's right. So among the campaign council, it's quite different, compared to what I thought. I thought the hesitation was because of that, but I haven't received any. I mean, I've been received, with great welcome, open hands. I go to the party office, the ovation. I mean, it's been very interesting what is going on, and that's what's pulling us in. We're not coming because we're desperate, we're looking for something. No. The reception has been quite overwhelming, and all the times I met with our flag bearer, the reception has been. We had personal meetings, quite private discussion. It's been very interesting.
Would you say the same for the vice president whom you stepped down for?
Oh, yeah. You see, there was so much. When I speak with these guys, there are things I look for. I examine them. I read their body language. I ask questions deliberately. For the vice president, I saw the same. He was very open, very humble. And one of the things that got my attention, that made me wait all the way for him, we sat down, it was about 3 of us discussing the first day. And I was asking some questions. I'm big on security. I want to know how we're going to be safe. My wife don't want to come to Nigeria because of security. Nothing else is driving her here. So when it comes to security, I'm big on that. And while we were discussing, somebody brought an issue to the vice president. And right there, he asked me, what do you think? I gave my suggestion, and he took it. And I said to myself, wow, he's the vice president. I'm meeting him for the first time. He asked me, he saw that the idea I brought was great, and he took it. That means this guy will listen. That means this is somebody we can approach. That was it for me. I didn't care what else anybody has to say or what was going on. As far as that took place, I was ready to go all the way in for him.
But if I could just, when you said your wife doesn't want to come to Nigeria because of security or insecurity, isn't that a direct feedback on how the APC has performed in that area?
Yeah, I mean, while we were planning our wedding in 2019, she was almost killed. She was robbed with a gun on her head.
Oh, dear.
And while he looked up to look at the man, the guy said, "You're looking at me," and I cracked the gun. I almost wanted to blow her head off. It was somebody that screamed, "Stop, don't do it." The trauma is still there for her. So and when it comes to security, I own a security firm in America. It's a lot of employees. I only want to hear it too in Nigeria. So I'm big on security. I don't care how much. I always tell people I would rather live in a subway in a country that is safe than in a mansion with police, with guns all over the place. We're not in war front. So when it comes to security, that's my #1 agenda. And that's the input I want to believe I will bring to the ideas that we have to make sure our country gets back. In those days, we used to work 2 a.m. We used to sleep outside because of the heat. And once it's 2 a.m., 3 a.m., our parents will wake us up to go in. But now you can't try that. 9 p.m., everybody is in. So we must stay on board so that we can give our input. They're not going to listen to us on social media.
We appreciate get over the trauma. But when you say that you just want young people to come out, just get there, be on the ballot, presidential candidates, is there a strategy? Because you can't just be all over the place and then ensure you have that critical decision to make wherein you pull all that support and resources to one person. That way, wouldn't you make more impact as opposed to having several other people on different ballots?
You're right. There's no strategy. If you look at the NSAS protests, at the end of the day, we ask ourselves, what was the outcome of it? The youth came out in large numbers. At the end of the day, we protested, NSAS. And now I don't think there's anything we can hold from that rally. It has always been us all over the place. Like after 2019, nobody is coordinating anything. I think that's where some of us want to come on board. Like the meeting I'm calling of all other aspirants to come. Let's sit down. How do we... A lot of us spent hard-earned personal money for this. And we sacrificed. I have young kids. Every day I'm feeling their impact. I wanted to abort this mission. I'm like, I got to be in my kids' life. I called my leaders. It's a lot of sacrifice we're putting. We don't want this to just go in vain. But there's no direction now, but somebody has to take the lead and bring the youth together. I'm looking beyond 2023. After 2023 election, a lot of I want to respectfully call them our fathers. They have no choice than to be handing over the baton to us. But if we are not prepared, we can't take over and do the needful.
But they've always said that, look, we fought for this during our own time. But young people think that it can drop on their laps.
Exactly.
That won't happen.
No, it's not going to happen. I keep saying it, especially sometimes when I hear our Eastern brothers, family members, the Igbo say, it's time for us. I keep telling them, nobody's going to hand over power to you. Not in Nigeria, not in Europe, not anywhere. Power is fought for. You have to fight for it. You have to do everything to grab it. And to the youth out there, they are watching me. If you think these guys will just call us from the stage, and say, come, we're about to hand over to you, it's not going to happen. We have to be in their midst, be in their meeting. While they are discussing, we respectfully interrupt. That's what I plan to do. While they are saying things, we'll go there and speak up. We have to, invade their privacy and do the needful.
Well, right now,
staying on social media and just insulting people, oh, you're a member of the APC, we insult, it's not going to work. We're not going to get it done like that.
Well, I'm sure that, even from social media, or on social media, you have seen what is happening. A number of young people are, rooting now for the candidate of the Labour Party. Yes, there are youths in every organization.
Of course.
But you are seeing that there is a morphing around one particular candidate, at least the youth whom we see. A number of youth whom we see on social media, they've been organizing rallies in different states of the country, and they're saying that, this is what they want to do. They're taking this beyond social media. First and foremost, how are you receiving that, one? And then two, right now, there is no party for youth. It's a partisan thing. You are supposed to be campaigning for your party. And part of the reason is they feel that your party hasn't done well for young people, and they think that it is time for them to, seek for somebody who can do better for them. How are you addressing them?
Like I said, I am excited seeing the youth coming out. APC, we have a lot of youth in APC. As we begin our rally, you begin to see what we're going to be doing. So what we see on social media really don't move us. Like I said, I'm glad seeing...
Not social media, I'm talking about on ground. I mean,
on ground,
for
yes.
instance, in Lagos, I mean, there was a Labour Party rally. It wasn't the Labour Party, it was just young people doing this for the candidate of the Labour Party. That was not social media.
Yes.
That was on the ground.
As soon as we flag off our campaign, we're going to begin. I'm the Deputy Youth Coordinator. There's so much we're going to put on board, and that is going to be settled. So we're really not moved by that. You know, we're winning this election. I'm sure you know that. APC is going to win.
I'm sorry, I do not know that. I know that the elections are yet to hold, and I know that you still have a lot of work to win the hearts and minds.
Let me address the issue of the party. You see, I see after 2019, it took a long time. I asked questions. I had several meetings. I took suggestions. I listened to people. I read comments. We put all this together. And at first, I was one of those people who think these parties are dead parties. They can't offer. I've criticized them. There's nothing I've not said about these parties. But I noticed Nigerians are not leaving these parties. We still have members in PDP and APC. They remain there. And that's why, number one, we came to join them. And number two, when we're talking about party, you must understand the president becomes the leader of the party. If I was elected as a candidate, are you telling me I would have failed? No. I have my own ideas I'm bringing on board. And that's what you saw in the Presidential Council, where the flag bearer brought, you know, his people, the PPC and the PCC. And now the party wants to have a say. I'm glad he's listening to them because we're still members of the party, carrying everybody along. So it's a good thing. But a new administration is coming in. That's very key. We're not talking about the old administration. Yes, it's the same party. Understand that the party is the platform. But a new administration is coming in. A new president is coming in. You're going to have new ministers. Everything is going to change. So we should expect change and not what has been going on. No matter how good it is, whatever it is that the APC has done, in the area they succeeded and the area they may have failed. But something new is coming in, and that's what we should be expecting. Not just party-wise. Look at the candidates. Look at the cabinet.
They are looking at the candidates. They want a candidate that is young.
Yes, but as youth, you understand, we are still trying to get there. It takes a lot to run an election. It takes lots and lots, and I know the millions that we were pumping out just for the little we did. We couldn't even do much. And that was why we decided to even step back. I know the hundreds of millions. How many youth have that to we weren't getting any support. People weren't giving us money. We had to be coughing out our money. We were pulling in the thousands of dollars running the election. And we couldn't even scratch the surface. So for us as youth, we need to be able to get there where we'll get a lot of support. We haven't gotten there. And staying at home and not joining these bigger parties is not the best way. I have a friend in PDP. And we spoke. I told him, stay there. I didn't tell him to come and join me. I said, the only thing I want you to do while you are there, you cannot be quiet. You cannot compromise. Speak up, stay there, and do the right thing while you are there.
Sometimes, I mean, I hear people say that they have lofty ideas, very, very good ones, and then when they get into political parties and they see the reality on ground, the ideas, no matter how lofty they are, they get dwarfed by the reality in those parties. Now, given what's playing out, I mean, I don't know if your party or even the PDP or other parties are aware of this, wherein lots of young professionals are leaving the country in droves. Different sectors, excuse me, they're all feeling the pinch. And many more think that after the elections, these general elections, if things don't go the way they think it will, you'll have a lot more people leave the country.
Yeah.
So, is your party, for instance, do you get that filler? Are they doing anything to ensure that doesn't happen?
Understand that the Presidential Council we have and our flag bearer, yes, is a member of the party, but I have no say in the administration, in policy. It's not a senator, it's not a House of Rep member. It can only give suggestions. It can only give advice. But a new administration is coming in. With the person I know him to be,
we don't know which administration will come, by the way.
I'm speaking of my party. I know Asiwaju is going to win the election. So that's why I'm speaking from that perspective. He's coming in. He's a very bold man.
Is this by faith? Are you speaking by faith now?
By the reality of ground, he's going to win the election. I mean, the handwriting is clear on the wall that he's going to win the election. Who are you comparing? Is it PDP or who? No, we are winning the election. So I'm not speaking by faith. For me to be talking this way, I have asked questions. I have looked at calculations, so I know we are winning the election.
Okay, well, several other people, PDP will tell you, of course we will win. And Labour Party and young people will say, forget it, APC and PDP. LMPP and YPP, ADC, all of them will tell you, we are going on. SDP told us the other day, we are winning this. So we're used to that with politicians.
I don't lie to myself. I don't come out here and lie to myself. We may come out and speak, but God has blessed me with a very wonderful team. I'm talking about men and women with brains. So
well, we kind of wish you all the best. We have to wish you all the best, as it turns out. So thank you very much indeed for coming on, Dr. Nicholas Felix, former presidential candidate of the APC. And now you're in the Presidential Campaign Council, right?
Yes.
All right, so there you go. We're back in a moment. Join us again.